You keep telling yourself you're a good man. You bite your tongue, you forgive, you stay respectful. And somehow the world keeps reading that restraint as permission. You watch people talk over you, borrow from you, test you, then laugh when you finally react. It's not that you lack morals, it's that your morals have no weight behind them, no teeth. Imagine standing in a room where a man throws a cheap insult just to see if you'll flinch. The average guy forces a smile and calls it maturity. The disciplined man stays calm because he knows he could end the conversation, end the access, end the game without raising his voice. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Kindness is only respected when it's voluntary, even when it's inconvenient. And voluntary means you're capable of the opposite. The moment you become truly good is the moment you become capable of harm and choose restraint. So you double down on being good, thinking it should protect you. It doesn't. It makes you predictable. You stay good, you get used, you get resentful, then you hate yourself for it. You say yes when you mean no. You swallow disrespect because you don't want to be that guy. Then you go home and feel that heat in your chest. It leaks out sideways. Sarcasm, silence, a sharp tone you pretend is just stress. Imagine someone crosses a line and you laugh it off while your stomach knots. You call it maturity. But deep down, you know the truth. You're afraid of conflict, afraid of rejection, afraid of being seen as dangerous. The average man hears dangerous and thinks toxic. He confuses strength with cruelty, boundaries with ego. He worships harmlessness because it wins him approval. The disciplined man sees it differently. He knows a man without teeth isn't safe. He's just easy to guilt, easy to exploit. When you can't say no, your yes means nothing. When you can't enforce a boundary, your kindness becomes a currency other people spend. That's why you feel lonely in a room full of people. You perform goodness to be accepted, and it still doesn't buy you respect. It buys you a role. So you overcompensate. You become the reliable one, the fixer, the listener. Then you resent everyone for taking what you offered. That resentment becomes your shadow, growing stronger each week. And the trap isn't evil, it's denial. Denial is not you being pure. Denial is you being blind. Jung's idea of the shadow is simple. Everything in you that you refuse to own doesn't vanish. It slips beneath your awareness, waits, and then drives you from the dark. You call yourself nice, but the anger you disallow doesn't disappear, it leaks. The American Psychological Association describes projection as a defense where you attribute your unacceptable feelings to someone else. So instead of admitting I'm furious, you decide they're attacking me. Instead of admitting I want power, you label others controlling. That's how a good man becomes paranoid, passive-aggressive, and easy to steer. Imagine you swallow an insult, smile, then spend the whole night replaying it, fantasizing about the perfect comeback. That isn't virtue, that's trapped force. The average man pretends he has no darkness and then explodes when it finally escapes. The disciplined man owns his capacity so he can direct it. That's why your goodness feels fragile. One shove and the mask cracks in public fast. Here's the forbidden truth. If you won't integrate your shadow, it will integrate you. In a moment, you'll get 5 steps to become dangerous without becoming a monster. Carl Jung doesn't sell you comfort. He dismantles your halo. In Ion, he calls the shadow a moral problem and says no one becomes conscious of it without expending moral energy. That's the part you feel when you try to admit what you're capable of and your stomach tightens. Your ego wants the nice persona, the polite mask, the story where you're harmless and therefore righteous. But Jung's point is colder. Self-knowledge requires meeting the parts of you you'd rather exile, not to worship them, to stop being secretly owned by them. The average man hears this and panics because he thinks acknowledging darkness makes him bad. The disciplined man hears it and steadies because he knows denial is what makes darkness dangerous. You don't become good by being incapable. You become good by choosing restraint on purpose. If you don't choose your shadow chooses when to appear. Jung's warning lands so you stop pretending you're only light. Step 1 isn't action, it's inventory. Ruthless self-knowledge. You name the aggressive, selfish, dominant impulses you keep hiding under good intentions. Not to celebrate them, to stop them from driving you blind. The weak man keeps insisting he's harmless. He says, I would never. Then his shadow slips out sideways. Sarcasm that stings, compliments that poison, silence used as punishment, obedience that turns into quiet sabotage. He avoids open conflict, but he still harms people just indirectly with a clean conscience. The disciplined man does the opposite. He admits capacity. He looks at his own mind like a weapons rack. What could I do if I wanted to win at any cost? What do I fantasize about when I'm disrespected? Where do I want to dominate, humiliate, or walk away and never return? He doesn't flinch. That calm honesty is control. Imagine you sit alone with a notebook. No audience, no moral performance. You write the last 10 moments your pulse spiked. Someone talked over you, guilted you, mocked your goals, stole credit, flirted with your girl, or treated your time like it was free. Then you write the first uncensored response that rose up. The line you wanted to say that would cut, the door you wanted to slam, the person you wanted to expose. Then you trace what you suppressed: anger, envy, pride, the hunger to be feared, the hunger to be respected. You label each impulse like a file, not a confession. In the spirit of Jung, you spend the moral energy it takes to see yourself without makeup. This is where most men quit. They'd rather keep the nice persona than face the truth that their goodness is often fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being seen as dangerous. But you keep writing, because every unnamed impulse becomes a ghost, and ghosts don't obey. Notice your body too, jaw tight, chest hot, hands wanting to clench. That's unclaimed aggression looking for a job. The average man calls it stress and numbs it with scrolling porn, alcohol, and jokes. The powerful man gives it a task, a boundary, a workout, a hard conversation, a decisive exit. Imagine the difference the next time someone tests you. Old you smiles, stores it, then erupts later at an innocent person. New you feels the heat, names it, and chooses. You can speak once, clear and direct. You can leave. You can enforce distance. The room senses it. Not aggression, authority. That's when respect starts showing up, even if nobody says a single word. You are not doing this to become cruel. You are doing it to stop leaking poison through cowardly cuts. When you own the impulse, you can choose a clean action. That separation turns you from a man who snaps into a man who decides. Here's the rule. A denied shadow doesn't die, it recruits. It recruits excuses. It recruits resentment. It recruits secret fantasies that grow stronger every time you pretend you don't have them. And one day, under pressure, it recruits your mouth and your hands. So you inventory weekly. You learn your triggers. You see which people pull you toward spite and which situations make you fold. You stop being surprised by yourself. Drop "I own my shadow" in the comments and stay with me, because once you admit capacity, the next step is building real capability. Teeth you control. Owning your shadow is step one. Step two is forging teeth, the competence that turns restraint into a choice instead of a costume. Goodness without competence isn't virtue. It's limitation. It's a man calling himself peaceful because he's too weak to fight. Average men moralize because they can't act. They talk about being the bigger person when the truth is they don't have the leverage to be anything else. They preach softness, then resent the men who walk through doors they were too timid to open. The disciplined man trains so he can choose. He builds strength, skills, money, and social leverage, so his no actually means something. Imagine two men hear the same insult. One freezes, laughs nervously, and swallows it because escalation would expose his helplessness. The other stays calm. He can end the conversation, walk away, set a boundary, or escalate if the situation demands it. Only one of them is truly choosing restraint. The first is being forced into it by fear. That's what teeth are. Capacity. Physical capacity matters. Train your body until you move through the world like you belong there. But teeth are also competence. Knowing how to speak with precision, how to negotiate, how to earn, how to build, how to leave. A man with options is harder to manipulate. A man with no options calls his cage morality. This isn't permission to become cruel. It's permission to stop being naive. When you can't enforce consequences, people test you for sport. When you can enforce consequences, people respect your silence. That shift feels like stepping into colder air, cleaner air. So you pick a domain and you sharpen it until you become undeniable. You lift, you learn a high-income skill, you tighten your schedule, you build savings, you get comfortable with discomfort, you practice hard conversations in your head, then in real life. You stop outsourcing confidence to compliments. You earn it, rep by rep. Most guys try to look dangerous by talking. You become dangerous by being able. You enroll in a combat sport not to start fights, but to stop trembling when tension rises. You learn how contracts work, how money moves, how people persuade, how favors get traded. You practice holding eye contact and speaking in short sentences. You stop asking questions that beg for approval and start making statements that set terms. Imagine a coworker tries to dump work on you and you respond, calm, I can't take that on. Then you return to your task without explaining. The room recalibrates. Your shadow feels seen, so it stops screaming. No drama, no apology, just capacity. That's teeth-quiet proof you can resist pressure without collapsing or exploding. And here's the line you need to remember. If you can't do harm, you're not good, you're just safe to ignore. Screenshot it. Because harmless men get treated like furniture, useful, invisible, taken for granted. When you forge teeth, you don't become louder. You become heavier. Your presence carries consequence. People sense it in the way you don't rush to explain, in the way you don't laugh when the joke is disrespect, in the way you can walk away without begging to be understood. But teeth alone can still bite the wrong targets. Power without boundaries turns into chaos. That's why the next step is the cleanest form of controlled violence you'll ever learn. The calm, final no that ends games without starting wars. Drop I forge teeth in the comments. Teeth change what you can do. Boundaries decide what you will do. This is where most men fail. They build strength, skills, money, presence, and still let people walk through them because they're addicted to being seen as good. So they negotiate, soften, over-explain, and the door stays open. Principle: the most dangerous upgrade is the ability to deny access. No explanations, no guilt, no negotiation. A clean no is controlled violence. It ends the game without starting a war. The average man bargains for approval. He says, I wish I could, but... He offers a paragraph so nobody feels uncomfortable. He hopes the other person will be reasonable. And when they aren't, he feels betrayed as if politeness was a contract. The disciplined man sets terms and accepts loneliness as the price of authority. He knows some people only respect what they can't move. He doesn't try to be understood by everyone. He tries to be clear. Imagine someone pushing your limits again. They text last minute. They demand your time. They tease your discipline. They pry for details you don't owe. Your old self smiles and absorbs it, then vents later in private. Your new self breathes once and says, calm and final, no, no anger, no apology, just steel. Then silence. Then you return to your life like nothing happened. That moment feels violent because it kills a pattern. It kills their access. It kills the version of you that needed permission to protect himself. Here's what you learn fast. Manipulative people don't fear your anger. They fear your refusal. Anger is a conversation. Refusal is an ending. So you sharpen the mechanics. You speak in short sentences. You don't stack reasons. You don't debate. You don't compensate with extra kindness afterward. You don't rush to fill the silence. Silence is your fortress. If they push, you repeat the boundary, not the story. I can't. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. Each repetition is a brick. The weak man turns every boundary into a courtroom, trying to prove he deserves autonomy. The powerful man treats autonomy as default and lets other people manage their feelings. And yes, it costs you. Some people disappear when they can't use you. Let them. The men who only love your availability never loved you. They love the leverage. Your one-liner is simple. Kindness without boundaries is surrender. A boundary doesn't make you cruel. It makes you honest. It makes your yes mean something again. It makes your generosity a choice instead of a tax. But here's the tension you have to face. When you stop yielding, your suppressed anger rises. It shows up as heat in your chest, pressure in your jaw, a hunger to punish. That energy can become discipline or it can become destruction. Use it or it uses you. Imagine you set that boundary with a friend who always needs you. They pause, then try a joke. You don't laugh, they try guilt. You don't explain, they try anger. You don't match it. You stay neutral, like a locked door. That neutrality is what rewires your brain. You learn you can survive disapproval. And when you start doing this, your life gets cleaner fast. Less chaos, fewer emergencies, more time for training and building. The ones who respect you stay. The ones who control you evaporate. That's the proof. You don't need speeches, you need repeated exits. Drop "no" as a sentence in the comments. That clean "no" cracks the dam. The anger you've been swallowing for years finally has room to breathe. And if you don't learn to command it, it will command you. Principle: anger is information and fuel. The danger isn't anger itself. The danger is denial. Denied anger doesn't disappear. It mutates into projection, paranoia, scapegoating, and self-sabotage. The American Psychological Association describes projection as pushing unacceptable feelings onto someone else. So instead of admitting, "I'm furious," your mind rewrites reality into, "They're attacking me." Instead of owning, "I feel disrespected," you decide, "Everyone is out to get me." That story feels protective, but it's a trap. It keeps you reactive, and reaction is always someone else's timeline. The average man vents in spirals. He sends paragraphs. He posts. He argues with ghosts. He tells himself he's being real, but he's just bleeding energy in public. He mistakes emotional discharge for power. The disciplined man converts anger into direction. He treats it like a flare that marks a boundary violation or a personal weakness. He asks one cold question: what exactly triggered me, and what action makes me stronger tomorrow? Imagine anger hits. Your old self grabs the phone. You type essays, you rehearse comebacks, you refresh for replies. You pace like a caged animal, feeding the same scene to your brain until it becomes your personality. Now imagine the new version of you. Anger hits and you don't narrate it. You don't confess it. You don't worship it. You do something clean. You lift, you run, you build, you ship, you write the proposal, you make the call, you fix the weakness that made the trigger land so hard. The heat becomes movement. The movement becomes proof. Proof becomes calm. You also learn to read anger like a map. Sometimes it points outward. Someone crossed a line and you need to reinforce the boundary. Sometimes it points inward. Your pride got touched, your insecurity got exposed, your ego got embarrassed. Either way, anger is a signal. A signal is useful. A tantrum is not. So you set a rule. No anger decisions in the first 10 minutes. You breathe. You name the feeling. You identify the need underneath it. Respect, space, fairness, control, rest. Then you choose a response that protects your future self. This is where projection dies. Projection is lazy power. It blames the world so you can avoid responsibility. But responsibility is where leverage lives. When you say, "I'm angry because I allowed this," you regain control. When you say, "I'm angry because my standards are weak," you can strengthen them. When you say, "I'm angry because I'm tired," you can recover instead of exploding on the nearest target. Here's the line. Anger is fuel. Projection is a leak. Fuel moves you forward. Leaks just make a mess and leave you stranded. And when you start channeling it, something scary happens for the people who used to provoke you. They lose their favorite toy. They can't pull you into drama because drama doesn't feed you anymore. You turn every trigger into progress, and imagine someone baiting you. They smirk, they poke, they bring up the old version of you. They wait for the explosion so they can call you unstable, or the smile so they can call you weak. Your face stays neutral. Your voice stays low. You say one sentence, "We're done here," and you walk. No slam, no lecture, no revenge monologue, just absence, cold and clean. Restraint isn't softness. Restraint is aim. It's you refusing to waste ammunition on targets that don't matter. So you train the habit of non-performance. You stop bragging about discipline. You stop warning people you're changing. You let them discover it the hard way, through consequences. You don't flex your new standards, you enforce them. You don't announce that you're unavailable, you become unavailable. This is also where your circle upgrades. Loud people hate quiet power because it makes them feel exposed. They need theatrics to justify themselves. You don't. You become the kind of man who can sit in silence and still be in control of the room. You listen more than you speak. You watch who tries to fill the space. You watch who panics when you don't react. And when you do act, it's decisive. You don't punish for entertainment. You correct for alignment. You block the number. You end the partnership. You stop funding the habit. You walk away from the table without asking for a better deal from people who never respected you. The weak man calls this cold. Let him. Cold is how you keep your blade from rusting. Here's the line. Restraint is the signature of real power. Because anyone can lash out. Only a dangerous man can hold fire while he aims, and then choose whether it's even worth pulling the trigger. Most men never reach this level. They confuse restraint with weakness, so they keep advertising strength to compensate. You do the opposite. You practice disappearing mid-argument. You practice letting someone misunderstand you. You practice walking away with your pride intact and your schedule untouched. Imagine a group chat trying to bait you into a debate. You don't type, you don't explain, you simply stop showing up and your results keep stacking. That's the flex they can't screenshot. The more silent you get, the more control you have. And the wrong people feel it like a door locking. Hold that. In the next moment, the identity shifts. You stop chasing the label of good and become whole dangerous by capacity, moral by choice. Drop silence as control in the comments. You feel the shift like a lock clicking. You stop chasing the nice guy badge like it's a passport to respect. Respect was never granted by purity. It was granted by capacity under control. The average man keeps trying to look harmless so nobody judges him. He smiles through disrespect, then explodes later, then calls himself good again to erase the shame. He lives in cycles. You don't. You live in command. You're capable now. You're trained. You're self-governed. You can say no without rage. You can walk away without theatrics. You can feel anger without leaking it into projection. Sabotage can't hook into you because there's no emotional handle to grab. No oversharing, no begging, no essays at midnight, just silence and outcomes. Imagine your week, fewer people, cleaner circles, calmer mornings, heavier lifts, money habits, fewer explanations. The ones who loved your weakness fade. The ones who respect discipline stay. Loneliness stops feeling like rejection and starts feeling like room to build. And you seal it with Marcus Aurelius, a line that keeps you from becoming the snake you hate. The best kind of revenge is not to become like them. You don't smear back. You don't guilt back. You don't play their game. You win by staying whole. If someone calls you toxic now, you don't defend yourself. You smile because you know what you became. You're not toxic, you're finally whole. And in the close, I'll give you the rule that seals it. Most men will nod at this and go right back to being harmless. They'll call it peace. They'll call it being mature. Then they'll keep getting used, keep building resentment, keep waiting for respect that never arrives. That's not you. The 0.01% do something different. They train, they forge teeth, they set clean boundaries, they integrate the shadow with discipline, so their kindness becomes a choice, not a weakness. Your challenge is simple. For the next 7 days, stop performing goodness. Stop explaining. Stop bargaining for approval. When a line gets crossed, you respond once, clean and calm. When someone tries to bait you, you go silent and move your life forward. You measure yourself by promises kept, not by praise collected. If you're committing, drop "I own my shadow" in the comments. Let the right men recognize you in the replies. And if you want more videos like this, dark psychology, Jung, stoicism, power dynamics, subscribe and turn on the bell. Because the world rewards noise, and this is built for men who move in silence. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be dangerous under voluntary control. And the next time someone tries to guilt you with your goodness, you'll see the leash.